Happy Aloha Friday, everyone. Welcome to another episode of My Tais at Sunset. I am Tai.
And I am Mai. Wishing you guys a lot of positivity, setting the intention for a lot of laughs today. It's Aloha Friday.
Wonderful. Thank God it's Friday. But you know what? This weekend's going to be busy, so we'll see how that goes.
Busy weekend. You've had the busiest, craziest week I have seen so far, I think.
Right. Just a, PSA. I love to put these out there. Never move in the summertime. It's the worst time to move. It's freaking hot. I think the West Coast and the Northwest Coast are experiencing Texas heat, Texas levels of heat. It's like 100 and something degrees there every day. And I'm like out there in 101 degree weather, moving boxes and heavy items and standing out there in the sun. And I have still a wicked suntan line, and it's getting worse and worse as the days go on. It's okay. But you know what? Eye protection is important because you could have all kinds of eye things going on. So
maybe
if you value your eyesight,
cowboy hat to protect everything.
I haven't worn my cowboy hat out there because I've been sweating so much, and I don't want to ruin my cowboy hats. But like I said, I think I mentioned there are different cowboy hats for different seasons, right? So my straw hat is like what I would wear now because I'm sweaty. Yeah. And you want a breeze going through your head. And then like my wool hat is like fall. And then you wear your beaver's like fur hat, sort of in the like winter. Beaver skin, I would say. It's not fluffy or anything. It's just made out of beaver. That's like the most coveted like material that for a cowboy hat.
Okay.
Is beaver skin. Yeah. Very waterproof, high quality, very hard to get because, you can't kill a bunch of beavers because there aren't that many of them. And, it's just like when I was talking to somebody about cowboy boots. I mean, they make them out of stingrays, sharks, eels, snakes of all kinds of varieties, crocodiles, alligators, baby calf, regular calf, bison, all the things, right? And so it's really interesting to find out, like, people who wear Western wear, there's a lot of like different levels of skins and that you wear them for particular uses, right? Like what's funny is I bought a pair of work boots and they're supposed to be waterproof and they weren't really that waterproof, but I wore really expensive cowboy boots, very expensive, Lucchese's, and they were made out of gator skin and they were waterproof the whole way. So something that was not really advertised as waterproof was more waterproof than something that is advertised as waterproof. Isn't that interesting? It is. But I think what made the difference was the type of material. I don't support killing animals that are endangered. So like elephants and hippos and stuff like that. Rhino. I don't feel like that's like a really great material to use because there's not that many of them, right?
There's so many other things that are popular that are overpopulated.
Hardy.
You can definitely use anyway. So why go for the endangered things?
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like that people make chinchilla fur coats. Like, I think that's terrible. They're tiny, they're cute, they're innocent. And
but what is their lifespan?
Oh, I had 4 chinchillas and they all lived about, some of them lived for 5 years, some lived for 10.
And are they kind of like rabbits? Do they have like a lot of them?
Okay, so what makes a chinchilla unique is that they have 80 follicles. 80 hairs per one follicle. And so that's why they're ultra soft. And the way they protect themselves is they can drop their tails and they can also drop a lot of fur. So, and they're fast. So if a predator like grabs a chinchilla, a whole fluff of hair will fall off. Just like a lizard loses its tail can also come off. I always look at chinchillas and I think they're like a hybrid of a bunny, squirrel, hamster mix. Because they're so cute and they have such personalities. I think there's a famous chinchilla on TikTok that is trained to hold signs and like sit very still, or the hand will go up, And It's really funny. I saw this like meme of a chinchilla and it held up like 3 of its fingers. And it was like answering a question like, how many times did you want to kill somebody today? And it's like sitting still and then all of a sudden it has like 3 fingers up. And it's just funny. They're one of the very few rodents that have opposable thumbs too. So that's why they can grab on. So if you give them something, they'll hold it.
Cute.
So when I had my chinchillas, I would give them like a nut and they would hold it and then they would eat it. But they would grab it from me.
But they're not endangered.
Because they had a big thumb. They're not endangered because we breed them and domesticate them, but like I would imagine that they would be in the wild. You don't see them in the wild. They're kind of almost like a defenseless animal. What is some kind of animal that God created or the universe created that doesn't seem to serve a purpose and is just
pugs?
Okay, pugs. Yeah, like they have skin problems. They have breathing issues.
They are so
adorable. What were they bred for?
To be
like a Yorkie,
the cutest dog in the world. They were like, weren't they pets of like the Chinese emperor? Their household.
I thought they were Tibetan.
I don't know. They're just.
I thought they were
adorable. I don't see them having any skill to fight anything. They can barely turn around. Turn their heads. They can only go like side to side, and that's kind of it.
Like Yorkies were meant to capture rodents, right? Like because they're small and they're fast. Shih Tzus were bred to be warmers, like body warmers. They would stuff them in the sleeves of the Chinese like gowns and stuff because they have the long sleeve.
Oh.
So they would use Shih Tzus as a body warmer when it was cold. And they would sit just like a Pekingese. Pekingese, same thing. Like they look like a bundle of cotton ball that just like rolls. Actually, the funniest thing about a Pekingese is that what the ideal look is that they're rolling when they walk. Because they're so fluffy and they're tiny and they, it's like a fuzzy, shorter version of a pug.
Yes. But
they're very like fluffy and they roll. And the one that I'm always thinking of is in the dog show. I forgot his name. It's very generic, like Patrick or something like that. He has a very like generic boy name. And he just always is smiling. And his eyes are like black. His whole face is black, but he's got like this blonde hair. And he's just always like rolling. And they don't walk that fast and they don't walk very far. So it's funny, like when you're watching a dog show, you have like these huge dogs, like Great Dane, like trotting around the whole arena. And then you got like the Pekingese that just goes up and down maybe a couple feet because it's tired. You're done. And I think it's funny when like trainers though, or the person that's show handler, they pick them up by their butt and their head. They're like they like pick them up and then place them on the table, and then you got this judge that comes out and like feels them up.
Well, they can't mess up their hair. They have to keep them perfect. So they have. Those are like
they keep brushing them like. Like the judge will touch them and then they brush them, and then they touch them again. They brush them. I'm like, oh my God, it's so annoying. There's like that new show with Rebel Wilson, like she was doing like some competition.
Yeah, like grooming. Pet makeovers or something.
Yeah, and I felt like that was like, it was too much. Like I felt, my dogs don't like the groomers, right? Even they're well trained. They still don't like, it's a lot of stress. Can you imagine putting that much stress on a dog when you're rushing? Might snip the dog, like all those, bloopers. They're like, oh, I was like, you shouldn't have this kind of competition. Like, I think animal cruelty was like a raised, because animals are naturally not wanting to be groomed like that. Like have all weird colors in their hair and everything.
The funniest commercials though right now I love are those Petco commercials. The one where they're humans that talk for the animals, and then all of a sudden it'll switch to the last shot and you see all the animals that they're supposed to be, all the different dogs. And then they're like dressed formal and they're sitting in some beautifully like a Downton Abbey kind of like sitting room setting, and they're just these are adults, and they're all dressed up in formal wear, and they're like, yes, and it makes my makes me feel so good and healthy. And then there's like this couple that walks in and they're like, I think I'm just going to they're sitting and they're like, I think I'm just going to take a lap around. And this woman sends up, I think I'll go too. And then the two of them walk and then it cuts to these dogs. And then you see these two dogs taking the place of all the people.
Oh, that's hilarious. I need to watch this. You need to send me this commercial because I think that would be really funny.
It's hilarious. It makes me laugh every time.
Okay, well, that's definitely a advert that I would want to watch. Yeah, like that sounds really funny. I mean, animals have such unique personalities. So speaking of which, during this week, I had lost the donkey. We thought it was lost. We kind of were sad because we thought somebody took it. And then my brother took the tractor out, his brand new tractor, and then he sunk it in the mud because he was being dumb. We won't talk about that too much. But the donkey appeared. And so one day I decided, since my brother had mowed a little bit of the land before he sunk his tractor in some mud, I drove my 4Runner out there to take a look. You know, just to drive all the way out to see where he cut and then drive back. So I allowed my niece to sit in the car with me. We're driving out there and all of a sudden I see this huge form and in the bushes, and my niece goes, oh my God, I see a butt. And I'm like, what do you mean you see a butt? So we drive kind of backwards and I'm looking and I see this kind of white figure. And she's like, oh, it's the donkey. It's the donkey. And I'm like, I don't know if that's the donkey because it's the wrong color. So I'm like, oh, I see a cow with horns. Okay. And I'm like, oh, it's a bull. Oh, we didn't have that before. So I go and I leave and I tell my brother. So I come back the next day. And the donkey's hanging on the side of the thing. And I'm like, come on, Churro, come here. Time to eat, And I got his food. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, this massive wall of golden tan comes walking out. And it's this huge bull. No horns this time. Mm-hmm. So it's a different bull. But I swear to God, it's probably over 1,000 pounds. It is huge, massive. It's taller than me.
It looks as big as your truck.
I don't know if it's taller than my vehicle. But it's like a wall, and it comes out, and he starts eating, grass. And I'm like, where did this come from? What is this? And Churro comes over, and he's eating, and he's, happy. And I'm like, I'm glad to see you. Come to find out, I had dumped a couple of, the older grains out there. I have realized that it's the cow that's eating all the grains. Because I thought, wow, that's weird. Churro doesn't normally eat, rotten carrots. He's pretty spoiled now. So those are all gone. So today, I'm out there, and I have carrots, and I have feed. The bull pushed the donkey out of the way and ate all the food and was, watching me and, slobbery. Bleh, saliva everywhere. It was yellow, and my niece is standing, really close to the fence, and I was like, you better step back. It's going to, fling it on you, right? We don't even know if it's toxic. He had so many flies all over him, too. But he ate out of our hands. He, took the carrots out of our hands. So apparently we have a bunch of cows roaming. So we think some barbed wire has gone down and they have come through. So my brother and I are going to kind of check it out and see if we find any more. But, I mean, that's towards our units of livestock. We're not going to be able to keep them, obviously. But for now, we're just letting them roam because they're eating the grass.
And the tractor mower thing is sunk. So somebody's doing the job.
Yeah, can't do anything about it. Yeah. So that's my story about that.
And you had your house delivered.
Oh my gosh, what an ordeal.
So exciting, though.
It's just, it's a lot.
It's your first house. It's your little baby house. Little tiny house.
Yeah, it's my first house. I've been driving by it and I'm like, oh, finally, I have a place to call my own. Mm-hmm. That's a big deal. I think it's a big deal for anybody, no matter the price range or whatever. It's boom, this is gonna be mine. I walked in and a lot of things have shifted and been kind of knocked off alignment.
Yeah.
So they're gonna come out and fix it all. They have to fix it. The interesting thing is all the cosmetic stuff is 60 days warranty. So within that time, I want to get everything fixed. But a lot of the bordering and siding in each room fell off. I mean, it's not secure on there. So though we have plenty of material to fix it, they actually left a bunch of material in the house. So
they probably know
everything will get fixed.
What happens during transport? You know, jostling on
Right.
the roads and then dropping it in place.
Yeah. So, I mean, they have a really good warranty and they have a good service program. My new washer and dryer arrives next week as well. So we have pretty much everything.
But I'm excited about your house. I'm excited. It's your first place that is
I'm excited.
yours forever.
It's somebody's forever. Maybe not mine forever. We'll see. Mine.
Well,
we shall
it's
see.
Part of the family compound.
We shall see.
Maybe one day your little mini me is gonna move in there.
Yeah, I hope they enjoy it. I mean, my nieces have been hanging out with me a lot. The land has been very therapeutic, I guess. It's nice to I walk a lot around the land. I'm hitting about 10,000 steps a day just from walking outside.
See any snakes?
I haven't seen any snakes, but I've seen a ton of grasshoppers, and I read an article today that the grasshoppers show up because of a drought.
Oh.
I could say Texas is having a lot of rain next week, so we're not having a drought per se, but when it's dry, like, they all come out. So I'm walking, and all these grasshoppers are like a wave in front of me trying to get away.
That's crazy.
What else? Yeah, there was just a lot that happened in the last week and a half. I'm exhausted. My hands are like super sore. I've been telling you, like, I've been waking up at night because my hands hurt so bad from lifting.
Yeah.
Like, who knew my brother had so much crap? My brother was literally going through his house. He was like, oh my God, there's so much stuff. And I was like, wait.
How many times has that man moved? 3. In the same state?
Yeah.
And then how many times have you moved around the country?
Like at least 9 or 10 times.
Oh my God.
And you know what? They him and his wife literally sat down and were like, we're looking to you to learn how to move efficiently. And I was like, well, this is not it. I had to find the movers. And my brother and my sister-in-law were so scared of the movers, right? They were like, how do you know they're going to do a good job? How do you know they're going to do all this? And I go, I've literally moved so much that I know everything, what movers will and will not do.
Yeah.
And so when they showed up, my brother was like really scared. Like, he was just like, I hope they don't steal. I hope they don't do this. They did everything and more. And my brother was like, I am so impressed. He was like, if I had known that they do it like this, I would have had them do all
everything.
The moves. Yeah, and I was like, dude, they take down your furniture and they rebuild it for you.
They're professionals.
He's like, no, they don't. No, they don't. And I was like, yes, they do. They did spend all day. Like, it was probably over $1,000 for that move.
Worth every penny. And they have the experience, the right equipment to move stuff without getting hurt.
It was worth it. And, you know, the homes that we have are high off the ground. They're basically on stilts. And to literally back the truck up and put the walkway right into their front door.
Wow.
So they're going to do that. They're going to do mine too. I was like, you guys did a great job. I want you to do my move too. And my house sits about, I would say, up to like my stomach is the base of the house.
Do you have to build your own stairs?
They provide stairs, but the stairs are not like great. So I'm gonna go ahead and take them apart, the stairs that they made, and make a better one. My mom has a hard time going through the front door, so she's gonna go through the back door. Back door is easier to get into, actually. So we're gonna work on that. My brother and I talked about it. I mean, I can undo the whole step, right, and just make another step.
Well, maybe
it wouldn't be that much
maybe
more.
You'd like to have a deck, like a big old deck.
Well, I'm gonna build a deck in the back. I'm building a deck in the back.
You don't have like a big old deck on the front too, like a wraparound porch?
No, actually, we're going to make stairs, and then we're gonna make a ramp to the carport, so that like I can drag stuff, and my mom doesn't have to go up some stairs because she's really struggling with coming down the stairs, not up the stairs. It was a pretty big step into the house, but I like the idea that it's so high off the ground, just for flooding purposes. You never know. We're not in the floodplain, but you never know if it might flood. Stuff like that. So.
Well, I had an exciting weekend. Last weekend, I said that I was going to a baby luau, and
how did that go?
It was so crazy. It was like the before times. The coronavirus. So there was a rule, like everybody invited had to have been vaccinated. And then at the last minute, they allowed some children to come. So my nephews weren't going to come until they got the okay. And then the baby, of course, wasn't vaccinated. And, we all walk in with our masks on. Once we sit down, they started serving courses. So everybody takes their masks off.
Yeah.
And then a few moments after, some courses and people are getting up and getting drinks and nobody's wearing masks anymore. We're the only people. It's 30 people, including the kids.
Oh, wow.
And we're all in this restaurant. And it was just crazy because everybody's interacting with everybody. And we're all saying hi. And this little baby girl, she's so cute. This is my cousin's baby. And I held her. She was being passed around to like everybody at the party. She would just, everybody wanted to hold her. And then her mom tells me that she goes to daycare and she's brought home colds. They've all gotten sick, maybe every other month or something. And I'm like, great. Thank you for telling me this after I've already held your child.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I feel like a lot of kids brought coronavirus to
their family.
Parents. Like, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not their fault, but I mean, it's easy to get it there.
No, they didn't say they got anything serious like coronavirus at all. It was just like regular little sniffles and colds. And by the time I saw her
like
at
what
the
I have
end of the party, her nose was running and I'm like, oh no. This slobbery little ooey gooey girl.
Dear. Ooey gooey.
Ooey gooey little babies.
Don't we all love those ooey gooeys?
But it was a great time to see my family and everybody was just talking and interacting and hugging.
Having a good time.
And I was just like, you forget. I totally walked out of there going, that was so great. Didn't even put my mask on my way out to my car. My family and I were just like normal. Like we'd forgotten the whole coronavirus and the lockdown and our masks. Although you don't have to wear your mask outdoors. So we were fine walking to the car, but I felt so weird. And I just was like, I'm walking and I'm like, I can't remember what's so different.
Oh my God.
What happened back in the day that I'm missing something? And I'm like, oh no, I don't have my mask on.
You're fine.
Yeah. For a couple of days, I did have the sniffles. And I had some weird body aches.
Oh my gosh.
But that was it. That was the worst of it. And I'm totally fine now. But I was like, what was the body aches for? And it was that baby. That little baby, 1 year old. She's like a bag of rice. She's like 20 pounds, I think. I didn't hold her for that long.
Bag of rice?
Boy, did it like impact like my muscles. I'm like, oh my God, I feel so out of shape. I can't even carry a baby for 5 minutes.
Man, when we were moving stuff, I was like, I hope I'm in shape enough for this. And I gotta tell you, I was the most in shape out of the family. I was only winded when I had to like work really hard in 105 degree weather. And I was standing in a hot storage container. So that was like no fun. I did buy a portable fan though. I think that's pretty cool. It's just so much. Like it's exhausting and tiring.
It's a lot of emotions come.
A lot of emotions
when you're touching things that have history, things that you've accumulated and they've been lingering around, they start to accumulate energy of their own. And then you start moving them, and then you're moving energy around in your space, and everybody is going to feel it and they're going to react however they react.
Well, it's frustrating. I think my brother and my sister-in-law were not prepared to move, and they didn't prepare appropriately. For me, I'm such a pro at it now that I know how to pack. Like, this one box is literally like everything that goes on my desk, but it's organized. So like this would be in this drawer and this would be in that drawer, and you section it. Then you label it.
Yep.
And with them, they were just throwing whatever the hell they could put in a box, and I was like, no, you can't do it.
Oh dear.
Like you can. It's such a cluster. It's a cluster.
Yeah.
I'm like, for me, I unload a box, I get rid of the box, I throw the box outside.
Yeah.
Like get it out of sight, out of mind, right? You feel good once the boxes are all gone. And that's where they went wrong. And so I feel kind of bad because they can't keep it clean right now. They can't do a lot of things because everything's a mess.
Yeah.
And my sister-in-law is getting used to her new kitchen, like the oven, sink is small, like all these new things. So for me, like walking into my new house, it's like walking into a new apartment. I know how I want to set it up, but there's a lot of adventures coming. I really enjoy being out on land. I like that my nieces are doing well. Nature. They go out and play in the grass. They take the dog out. You know, of course they're careful. The only thing is today, one of my nieces was running around with no pants on. So we have learned, I have reiterated that they need to wear boots and jeans outside. Yeah. You cannot just wear nothing on the bottom. No. Yeah, she got bit in some fun places, but I told her not to do it, and she didn't listen, so there's that.
Well, lesson learned, hopefully.
Well, she's just going to learn the hard way, like, every time. But I really enjoy being out there. It's nice to get some sun. It's nice to be around animals, and it's getting there. You know, slowly but surely it's getting there. So it's
the only thing I hope that you do is that you get everything blessed. You get the houses blessed. You get your land blessed. Every time, and you can do this yourself, you know, just go on every time you walk. Oh, and then, you know, every time you walk into your new place, thank you for, I'm so grateful for you. I look forward for us to be together. You know, just say hello to everything. Say hello to all the new animals that keep showing up. Just talk to them. Talk to the land. Say thank you, land, for not biting me with a lot of mosquitoes today. You know, just literally talk to everything, because everything is energy.
I haven't been bitten by mosquitoes.
Yay! Is this because of the thing?
Have you noticed that? I haven't been talking to them. No, I haven't been wearing anything like out there. Like I've been wearing just t-shirt and jeans. Maybe and boots, and like,
they're tired of your blood. They found somebody else.
I hope so.
Maybe the cows have drying them away for you.
I just totally thank God for that. I was like, thank you. For not putting any more mosquitoes on my body. It's been great not to be itchy.
Yeah. And then
as I itch my leg, but
for sure. And then the only other thing is, like, you know, with your brother's place, just continue to thank that house for supporting them for as long as they have, and to just have the energies be cool while you move things. And then, you know, as you're packing things, say, you know, just talk to everything. Talk to everything to be awesome and calm.
Okay, I will. Fine. Everything is awesome.
Everything's awesome.
We were supposed to play that song. Well, everyone, thanks for joining us for another awesome Pau Hana with Mai and Tai from mytaisatsunset.com.
Woohoo! Woo-hoo.
We keep checking out our website, and, you know, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
Oh, and I'm going to surprise you. Our website is being updated again. So this is your last chance to see it the way that it is, but it is getting a whole new revamp again. So
oh my gosh, it's getting animation.
I don't know. It's just beautiful. So
well, I'm excited for that. Thank you for the surprise. Special shout out to our patrons. Thanks for supporting us. And if you want to support us too, check us out on Patreon, My Tais at Sunset.
And until we meet again, ahoy ho.